Good morning, guys. So I'm at a place called Coburg Park Lake, and I'm going to be meeting up with a friend of mine whose name is Brooke, and we're going to be doing some family portraits today. Now, I first met Brooke about a year and a half ago. She reached out to me on Instagram and asked if I would be interested in doing some family photos for her and her sons. And normally I don't do family photography, but she shared some of her story with me and it really touched me. She's somebody who really inspires me, just an absolutely amazing mom. So we caught up about a year and a half ago, and her son Austin was about to have an operation, and we took some photos before his operation, and he's had that operation since. And today we're catching up and we're going to do some more photos. So I'm really excited to see them again. So we just made this whole video and then I realized I forgot to hit record, so I'm really sorry.
It's parent brain.
This is Brooke, by the way, guys.
Hi, everyone.
And we've spent the morning taking some photos of her wonderful son, Austin. He's just over here, entertaining himself. And we've been walking around the park, just trying to capture him in his element. Because as a photographer, I don't really like doing posy photos. I like to just try and make people comfortable and just capture them in their moment.
And I think with disability, that is the most important thing, is to get into their reality, because that's when you're going to get the most good opportunities with photos. If you try and force them into your reality, the natural is always better than whatever fake people try to put together. Yeah.
He's such a happy child. He's just got this really beautiful smile, this pure spirit and energy about him. And I think that comes from your parenting. You're so patient with him. Since the first time I met you a year and a bit ago, that's something that I've really respected and admired. Your patience that you have, it's something that I look up to as a parent, because you do such an amazing job with them both.
But you do as well, and as I said, and I say it all the time, how you are as a dad and how you show the world on how to be such an amazing parent helps influence me to go out and take my kids and explore the world.
Thank you. I do love exploring with the kids.
And that just encourages everybody. I'm sure everyone that watches these vlogs go out and do things and think, oh, Jamie did that, I want to go and take my kids out and get that same experience. And yes, that has definitely been a very positive influence on us as a family, your vlogs.
I love hearing that. That's always my intention.
So Austin is almost 4, and Austin was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy at just over 1 year old. He will eventually end up in a wheelchair and he will have a shorter life. But for right now, we're just dealing with what is. There is no cure for muscular dystrophy. There's research going into trying to find it to prolong the muscles from breaking down, but there's just not enough funding. Like, it's not spoken about enough, and not many people are affected by it to be able to create that change. Austin also has severe autism, which results in him being non-verbal. But yes, as I was telling you earlier, 2 weeks ago, for the first time in his whole life, he said, "I love you," and that just had me in tears.
Almost had me in tears when you told me that.
Everybody just can't believe it, and everyone just keeps going up to him saying, "I love you," and he won't say it if you ask on cue. It's only going to come out in his natural when he's ready.
And that's because he's such a pure spirit. He says what he means.
Austin was born with a non-cancerous tumour on his face, and it was the size of a pea, and it grew rapidly to, I don't know, the size of my fist, you would say. It got that big.
Yeah, about that big, yeah.
And prior to Austin getting surgery, I wanted to reach out to you to see if we could get some photos before they changed the face that I gave birth to. So that was the first time we connected, was a year ago now.
It was my first time ever doing family photos for anyone outside of my very close friend group, because I never thought I would do family photos.
And they're the best photos that we will have for the rest of our lives, so thank you. And then obviously today we've come back again because Austin had surgery at the end of last year, and His face is completely different again now.
It's like a
and
whole different child.
he wouldn't know any difference, but we do. And I think, you know, he has been less subjected to bullying. He was bullied a lot with having that lump on, whereas...
It makes me so angry thinking about that. At his age, that kids would do
come
that.
up and try and dunk water on him or throw rocks at him the minute he would get to a park because he looked different. And kids are kids, and if you look different, that stands out, and kids have honest opinions, and I understand that, but I'm just lucky that they were able to make that change for him before it affected who he is as a person.
Because he's so full of joy. He's just such a happy kid. Since the first time I met him, he's just got that really pure smile and just such a wonderful little boy. Yes, you are.
High five for Jamie.
Oh, you got some dirt on your face. Yeah.
I know, you've been playing with the dirt.
He's been doing what kids are supposed to do. He's been playing. We got this photo of him before that I absolutely loved. And it was him with his iPad, but he had all the bark over the iPad. And I was just like, this is how kids are supposed to play. And I love that he is actually doing that.
He's so in his own world. And I think, you know, there comes negatives with having autism and muscular dystrophy. But for the positive for him is he doesn't see the other parts of the world. He just sees what he's doing and in that moment. And sometimes I wish we got to live a little bit of that
100%.
moment where we could just live and not worry about anything or anyone else.
There's so much we can learn from him.
Thank you for getting to be able to share a bit of Austin's story and show that awareness of, there are people out there that are having it hard, and instead of just looking down on them or making a comment, check in and see if they're okay. See if they would like something as basic as taking a family photo. For us is a life changer. Something so small can be something so big in someone's life, you know.
It's been a pleasure to be able to do that for you, and thank you for allowing me to do that for you guys. It was really great getting to hang out with Brooke and Austin again. Such wonderful people. Austin's spirit, it makes me feel so inspired. Just the pure joy that he has in his smile. He's just such a special kid. And on the way home, since I'm in the area, I'm gonna stop by my old work. Recently, I told a video about some of my early jobs, and my first retail job was at Hugo Boss in Preston, and I drove past it on the way here, and I'm gonna quickly stop in on the way back and see how it looks. I know it's changed a lot since I was there. Right behind me, this used to be the Hugo Boss head office. They're no longer there anymore. I don't even know what CW retail is, to be honest. But once upon a time, this used to be Hugo Boss, and they had the head office on that side, and then on this side is where they would keep all of their samples. So all the products that were coming out next year, people would come and see those products and choose, you know, they'd be like, oh, I want 10 of these in this size for my store, and they would get to see the whole line of potential clothes that could come out the next year, and probably like 80% of those items would never actually make it into stores. And then downstairs we would have a store where they sold both regular Hugo Boss product but also the samples once the showroom was done selling the samples. And it was always cool getting to see the samples, knowing that they were pretty much just one-off pieces most of the time. They still have the Hugo Boss store down here though, even though the head office isn't still upstairs. They actually for a while moved the Hugo Boss store into where the showrooms were when they stopped selling samples here. But they've since moved the store back downstairs, which is where I originally worked. I worked in both of the stores, both downstairs and upstairs. This was my section when I used to work here. I would mainly hang out at the back of the store and I would sell suits. I was actually pretty good at it as well. By the end of it, I used to just work on Sundays. I'd work 1 day a week. That's what I was doing when I first started on YouTube. I was at Hugo Boss 1 day a week. I'd come in on my Sunday and I would sell a bunch of suits and I would get a great staff discount, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest. It's quite nostalgic being back in here. Low-key want to go and serve some customers. Always loved Hugo Boss suits. They were very easy to sell because they were just really good. The thing that I loved so much about suits was every suit had a story that went with it. And I'm the type of person, I love hearing people's stories. So I got to hear a lot of stories. It could be a person going for a job interview. It could be just for their work and I get to hear about what they did for work. It could be for their wedding. I get to hear how they met the love of their life. It could be for a special event and I could hear all about that, or sadly sometimes it was for a funeral and I'd get to be there for that person and, you know, hear their story as well. But every suit had a story, and that's why I was, I think, good at selling those suits, because I loved fashion and I appreciated the quality of them, but I also loved hearing people's stories and being able to add a piece to that story, which was the suit that I was helping them find. And I would always have the attitude of wanting to help them rather than sell to them, and give them a suit that I knew that they were going to love, that could be a part of that story. Nice as this. Brooke got all this for the girls.
What?
Let's see what she got you guys. She spoiled you so much. I think there's like stuff in there for both of you.
She really did spoil.
Yeah, she really did.
This is the Hello Kitty sticker book that I wanted.
Oh, are you serious?
And, yeah.
What? Oh, it is too. That's the one that I tried to get you and they were sold out.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a pen inside of the little baggie. And then there's a notebook. There's also some stickers, sticky notes.
How was camp, by the way, Ava?
It's good.
I knew I didn't have to worry about you. There was this split second where I was thinking, I hope Ava's going to be okay and not missing home too much. And then I realized how independent you are and that I didn't have to worry at all.
Yeah, because at school they're like, who's ready to go home? And then most people put their hand up and they were like, and then there was like around 10 people, and then you're like, who's not ready to go home? I was part of the 10.
Oh my goodness. You're too independent. She's too independent already. She's only 8.
I didn't want to go home, man.
Jeez. You didn't miss me at all? What? Oh. Well, I missed you. No, I'm just playing. I'm glad you had a fun time. I raised you to be quite independent.